Ever since I found out Harriet Tubman is not a real person, it fucked me up. I'm not gonna lie.
Are y'all really on the internet saying that Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth weren't real people?
Is actually a real person. People on stalking is a real person, y'all.
Hey guys, how are you all doing? It's your girl Cindy. Welcome back again to another video. I trust you guys are having a beautiful time today. If you are coming across this channel for the first time, hi, thank you so much for clicking to watch this video. Apparently, some people are questioning the existence of Harriet Tubman. So they think that Harriet Tubman never existed. Now, I saw two videos from two black women, which I'm going to show you one of the videos. The other one, I could not find her video. Obviously, she took the video down because people are stitching their videos, weighing in. I am really concerned because the fact that this is coming from two black people, and also the fact that one of them has over 300,000 followers, I can imagine what happened in the comment section, like the comments that people dropped in the comment section, because having over 300,000 followers and dropping such video. So because their videos are going viral, some black people are asking, does it mean they were lied to? Like, this whole thing is not making sense. Now, I'm going to show you all these videos that I've put together, and I would love to know what you guys think in the comment section. Like, you can literally Google Harriet Tubman. Google about her. Because I do not understand what is going on. And some of them even said that she was a spy. Stay with me, guys. Let's just see these videos. And please, I would need you guys to please tell us what you guys think. I don't know. I do not like the sound of this. Of course, I'm reacting to it just to create awareness and for people to, give their opinion on this. This is what is literally trending on TikTok. Please check these videos out.
Ever since I found out Harriet Tubman is not a real person, it fucked me up. I'm not gonna lie. Because her real name is Araminta Ross, and she was a spy for the United States government. Her real name, Araminta, is not connected to the Harriet Tubman. And Sojourner Truth's real name is Isabella Bumfrey. Same thing, was also a spy. Yeah, if they were published in American history and it was black history, they were spies, bro. They've been trafficking people. Underground. It's all underground. And they want us to look up and idolize these people. Oh, well, they look just like me, so I must look up to them. Stop that shit immediately. Because if they're talking about it, raving about this person's bravery, don't fucking trust it. They probably fucked over black America. Due to that manipulation alone, I believe that we should separate ourselves. Because if the government is hiring these actors pretending to do good in the community and they're actually doing harm, that's very harmful. To weaponize education is evil at its highest. Mother Teresa too. It's like, she was renowned for being this sweet woman, and really she's not sweet at all. She was starving them kids. She was also abusive. But they're not going to talk about that because these people already have foundations and museums and schools named after them and streets. It's all a fucking act. And I'm glad to see people are starting to... When you start lying about history to fit your narrative, that to me automatically should be a war. Not a war with violence, but a war in saying that it's time to separate ourselves. Because we deserve a society with the truth. And if we have to build it and put in work, I'm willing to do it. It's going to get worse with time. Because it's going to go from manipulating history to manipulating you in the present moment, which they're doing right now already. And it's just going to continue to spiral because there's no one checking these people. Or there's people who are afraid to bring up an alternative society. People don't want to.
Oh, I finally found the video, but not from her page, from another person's page who apparently downloaded the video. Now, I'm going to show you another video of a black woman talking about Harriet Tubman. Stay with me, guys. Let's check this video out.
Martin Luther King is not the only one that needs to be exposed. We need to talk about Harriet Tubman and the vital role that she played, because I don't think y'all realize that gap that we're missing. Harriet Tubman helped cover that up. Let me break this shit down to y'all. So first of all, if y'all don't know, Harriet Tubman was not her name. And y'all, I keep telling y'all, America is a stage. These people are playing characters. Everybody, for some odd reason, has to change their name. So, and if you don't know, her real name was Arminta Ross. And I believe that's a Hebrew name. So she had to be kidnapped and brainwashed. But anyways, it says that during the Civil War, she served the U.S. Army as a spy, a scout, and a cook. The key word is she served the U.S. Army as a spy, a scout, a nurse, and a cook. And ironically, she's supposed to have led multiple slaves to freedom. But she worked for the U.S. How does that make sense? If we are the Aboriginal people of this land and she worked for the U.S., she was not working for us, because we were not united. We weren't citizens. Do you remember the United States were the 13 colonies that were over there that was trying to infiltrate into our land? We were not a part of their government. They called us La Louisiana. The Louisiana Purchase. Y'all come on now. And she worked with David Hunter, who was a general for the Union. And you know, the Union was supposed to be black people. Why would black people have a white man as a general when we just went through and escaped from slavery? That does not make sense. It doesn't make sense, right? And so it sounds like she might have led him to us. And the people who she was rescuing, which more than likely were black men, she was trapping into their system. The Union was a trap for black people. She led the Union to black armies using the same tunnel systems that they use to today. Look. These are the same tunnel systems that they're using to traffic the kids. These are the same tunnel systems where people are coming up missing. Ironically, these are the same tunnel systems that she used to free us. Y'all, that's a red fucking flag. That's a red flag. Let me tell you how they got to us. She used these tunnel systems, and they were able to pop up in the heart of our cities. That's what happened. It was used as the face, so that way we would think that they were on our side. But it's no different from the Democratic and the Republic. They're both on the same team, but pretending to be on separate teams. So that's the same thing with the Union and the Confederate. They were the same people, because that's the United States. We weren't a part of the United States. Understand that. And so any black people that were a part of the United States were kidnapped. They were kidnapped. They were prisoners of war, because the Civil War was being fought between the Aboriginal people, or the original people, in the United States. I remember I said that she was used and she was trapping black people. Y'all remember when those pandemics of syphilis and things were being implemented into our men? How do you think that happened? She helped. She was a nurse. She telling y'all all of that. She kidnapped them, and she kidnapped them and put them into their system to where they were experimented on, and they were put into these prisons. And so when we go into these reconstruction eras to where they are reconstructing these buildings, they use black prisoners for that. Y'all. Okay. And then let me tell you something else. Who was she being used by? Y'all, she was being used by Lincoln. Let me tell you, President Lincoln, she purchased a house from William Henry, who was appointed Secretary of State by Abraham Lincoln. How the fuck did a black woman who escaped slavery, who apparently helped all these niggas escape slavery, get a house from the president? Or get a house from the president's secretary? Make that make sense. They don't fuck with us. Okay. William was supposed to work for the Union of Black People as well. But he ironically helped play a role in the purchase of Alaska. And people be forgetting that we are original of this land. So just like how we were here, we were there. There's original Black Alaskans too. Let me show you. So he was not for us. He just wanted our land. And Lincoln was just like Obama. They used him as a face. Y'all, he was black. Here he go with his real mama. This is a fake picture. This is who he really is. This is a black man. Come on. And so, he got assassinated. Why? Because he was probably finna expose the truth. Y'all know Lincoln got murdered in Ford's Theater. Ford's Theater used to be a black church that got burnt down in the 1800s. And ironically, Ford's Theater sold the chair that he got assassinated in to Henry Ford, who ironically is the car brand. And y'all know that Henry Ford is also the same man who came up with 9 to 5, the 9 to 5 workday. Y'all, Lincoln was used to trap black people into their system. The same system that they used Martin Luther King to trap us into by saying he wanted us to integrate whole time we had our own shit. It's the same way they did. They used Lincoln as the same way. They made Lincoln seem like he was freeing all the people that they have been fucking over, that they have been kidnapping and doing all this shit. It wasn't us. Or some of us. Everybody wasn't captured. So they made him seem like he was just this saint. Whole time, his mama was a black woman who was kidnapped 9 times out of 10. She was taken advantage of. And Lincoln was used to continue the bloodline. Because, they all are related. So his daddy, he was used and he was brainwashed. So they could get us on their side. Come on, y'all. All of this shit is connected. I'm telling y'all that they needed us in their cities. They needed us in their workplaces to be the consumers and the workers. They needed us. We didn't need them.
Before I show you all the stitches, I just want you all to know that this video is for educational purposes only. It is not to bully anyone, nor harass anyone, but just to create awareness so we all can see and know what is happening on social media, especially on TikTok. I just want you all to please weigh in, because the comment section of this video, as you can see beside me, some people are asking, does it mean black people were lied to? Does it mean she was a character, like she never existed? I don't know. I'm just like, as you can see from this comment, I thought to bring these videos here so you guys can see what is trending on TikTok, so you can, weigh in if you want to. Now, I'm going to show you some videos, stitches I've put together, people's opinion. And I would love to know what you guys think in the comment section. Stay with me, guys. Let's check these videos out.
So there's a black woman that came on here saying that she found out that Harriet Tubman is not a real person. And that is the fastest that I've ever reported a post for misinformation. A lot of you Negroes are the ones that Carter G. Woodson was afraid were going to be miseducated and indoctrinated. The idea that Harriet Tubman is not real because she was birthed by a different name is wild to me. So Muhammad Ali is not real? Al-Hajj El-Malik Shabazz is not real? Y'all do know Sojourner Truth was not born Sojourner Truth, right? Folks can claim that the school system dropped the ball, but I blame a lot of y'all's parents too. Because even a 3rd grade social studies class would have taught you that enslaved folks that fled to freedom, that escaped, had a bounty on their head because they were considered property. They generated profit for their enslavers. So as a result, their slave masters and mistresses kept a manifest, a recording of their names. So by changing their names, it kept them safe. The same black woman in that same video came on here to say that Harriet Tubman should not be considered a hero. It is as a result of that woman's work as a spy for the Union that she fought for gender equality. You know who else was a spy? Josephine Baker, who fought against the Yazidis. And you sit here as a black woman with other ignorant ass black people in your comments while the current administration is currently desecrating black American history.
There's a woman going around saying that Harriet Tubman wasn't real, and you got homies in the comments being like, I always thought the Underground Railroad sounded sus. I'm in Savannah, Georgia, where there's literally houses still here marked for the Underground Railroad. Yes, y'all, it wasn't tunnels. It was safe houses. Yeah, it was real. Harriet Tubman's real. Please, don't believe that lady. She not okay.
If someone can get on the internet and tell you that Harriet Tubman never existed, what they're able to tell you is that the things that Harriet Tubman accomplished and the things that are attributed to her never happened. The most significant accomplishment that history gives to Harriet Tubman is being the leader or one of the leaders of the Underground Railroad and rescuing over 70 enslaved people out of bondage into freedom. And if someone gets on here and says that, and you believe it, what they're saying is that the things that that person accomplished never happened. And that opens up the door for them to feed you anything, because it gets rid of the expediency of our ancestors wanting freedom. And if there's no expediency in freedom, they get to tell us that our ancestors enjoyed their bondage or they deserve their bondage. It's way deeper than ignorance and bad education at this point. I honestly believe that the people that are pushing this are bad actors. Don't fall for the bullshit.
I've been seeing this all over TikTok. People are getting on here and saying that Harriet Tubman was an industry plant and not real. I feel like as a teacher, it's my duty to get on here and tell you the story of Harriet Tubman, who was very much real. She's known for being the most effective conductor of the Underground Railroad, and she was a Civil War spy and military leader. In fact, she was the first woman in U.S. history to plan and lead a military operation. She was born enslaved in Maryland somewhere between 1820 and 1825. She was beaten, whipped, hit in the head with a 2-pound weight at one point for trying to help another enslaved person. The injuries from this would give her seizures and narcolepsy for the rest of her life. In 1849, she ran away 90 miles on foot, the North Star as her guide. And then she just turned around and went back again and again and again. She's responsible in the end for about 300 people being rescued from race-based chattel slavery. Slave catchers even put a $40,000 bounty on her head, but that didn't stop her. She once said, "I had reasoned this out in my mind. I had a right to liberty or death. If I could not have one, I would not have the other." She was also a Civil War spy and military leader, as I said. Led the Combahee River Raid in 1863 during the Civil War. Guided Union gunboats to destroy plantations and free around 750 enslaved people in one single night. And after the Civil War, she kept fighting. This is her last portrait in 1911. How cool is that? She fought for women's rights. She took care of formerly enslaved people. She even opened her home to elderly people. Lived until she was 93. She should have already replaced Andrew Jackson, the $20 bill, in my opinion. Her legacy, it's priceless. And she was very much a real person.
Are y'all really on the internet saying that Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth weren't real people? Are y'all really doing that? Are y'all really where history books exist, where museums exist, where artifacts and first-hand accounts exist? Are you really denying the existence of these actual people who were literally alive? Like Harriet Tubman lived till 1913. Like, we have photos of Harriet Tubman. We have first-hand accounts. We have... And this is why I tell y'all to stop listening to so many folks on the internet who speak with confidence in their voice, but have complete lack of knowledge and lack of good sense. Because what I just watched a video of a person saying that that Harriet Tubman wasn't real because her real name was Araminta Ross. Yes, people change their name all the time. Yeah, Sojourner Truth's name, that wasn't her name either. People change their names all the time. Like, all the time. Like, so now they're not real people? Were the schools ever open? Somebody tell me, were the schools ever open?
The term is historical negation. It's not revisionist history. It's not twisting the facts to fit your narrative. It is negation, falsification, right? So when somebody gets on this internet in 2025 and tells you that Harriet Tubman didn't exist, they're lying to you. But why? Why would they do that? Why are they trying to change your perception of history? Why are they trying to open the door for you to believe other things are false, that we know are true, that are proven to be true, right? The United States is a young country. Everything we've done is pretty well fucking documented, right? You can go back in time and read biographies by Harriet Tubman's contemporaries. You can find her fucking receipt of her birth from a midwife that her father paid $2 in 1822 to make sure she was born happy and healthy. Why would somebody want you to not believe that? And what does it open the door to, right? Other examples of historical negation are Holocaust denial. What does that open the door to? What else have we been lied to about, right? The lost cause narrative is one of the biggest historical negations in U.S. history. Quite literally. The lost cause narrative is a concerted effort by the state governments in cahoots with the Daughters of the Confederacy in the South to change the narrative, to change the history books around why the war was fought. So no, it wasn't about slavery. No, it wasn't about subjugating people based on race and perpetuity. No, of course not. It was an attack on our Southern way of life. And that persistent historical negation changed the conversation around the Civil War for generations to come. And I know this because I was raised in the South. Historical negation is coined as a term by a man who writes a book called the Vichy Syndrome. Now, the Vichy government is the collaborationist government in France. Right? Charles de Gaulle, exiled. Vichy government steps in. They are collaborating with the Nazis. They are in cahoots with the Nazis to send thousands and thousands of French Jews to their death. But popular memory of World War II in France is that the resistance was much bigger and stronger than it actually was. And they downplay the Vichy's role, right? Everyone has heard about the French resistance, right? Not everyone has heard about Vichy. Why is someone trying to change your perception of reality? And what does it open the door to? Why? And if you still need more proof, get to a public library. Support your public library. If they don't have the books you want, ask them to buy them. So you can learn and you can read with your own two eyes rather than believe somebody on the internet who is clearly a nefarious actor. Because when we change our perception of history, we change our perception of ourselves, because history informs who we are and how we got here.
So this week we received the devastating news that Harriet Tubman was not a real person. But also, what y'all probably didn't know while this was making the rounds, is there is someone else that is actually a real person. Pippi Longstocking is a real person, y'all. I know. It screwed me up when I found out she is a real person. And the government made sure that we didn't believe that and just thought of her and her monkey as fake characters from a book. But no, Pippi Longstocking is real. She was the founder of the CIA. She made sure that Sesame Street was on television because that's where she really lived. So she had to make Sesame Street a TV show for kids so we wouldn't think about Sesame Street being a real place that she was living and operating from. In fact, y'all, let me check my notes. Her name, Pippi Longstocking, is not really her name. It's Pipolata, Delicatesso, Window Shade, Macromet, Efro-Frame Daughter, Longstocking. We've been lied to all our lives. The government has been really telling lies. And this poor woman had to be nothing more than a character in a children's book. But yes, Pippi Longstocking is real.
At this point, I'm convinced that some of y'all work for the CIA. Harriet Tubman was a real person. She was a real person. We're not arguing about this. A lot of you, hopefully, might be scratching your heads and asking, what is this man talking about? There's a woman on this app that misleadingly opened up a video saying that Harriet Tubman was not a real person. The reason I say misleadingly is because it's not like she found out information that proved that Harriet Tubman was this metaphorical figure. It's because she just figured out that that was not her real name. That's right, that's the big reveal. Harriet Tubman's real name was not Harriet Tubman, it was Araminta Ross. Which, by the way, it's not like she fabricated that name out of thin air either. Harriet was her mother's name and I think her middle name, and Tubman was her husband's last name. So it's her name. But that's not even the lie that pisses me off the most. The same person that said that she wasn't real, only to later say that she was real, also implied that she was a government spy. And while that technically is true, there's context behind that. Because if you just say that she's a spy, you're implying that she was capturing freed slaves and sending them back to their owners, when in reality she was a spy for the Union that helped free many slaves. And this is the problem with people who just say anything without doing research, because after her came another woman saying, you know what, it makes sense that she wasn't real, because what do you mean that we had an underground railroad? Where's the Underground Railroad now? Why can't we go see it today? The Underground Railroad was a network of safe houses where they would give asylum to freed slaves. Listen, I understand that elementary school was decades ago for some of you, but this should not be a necessary refresher course. I need you to understand that we're living in a day and age where we already deal with news outlets that lie to us, AI that's deceptive, and people that just start misinformation campaigns. Please, please, ask questions, absolutely, but don't participate in these games.
So apparently we reached the part of digital delusion where people are out here saying that Harriet Tubman wasn't real. And honestly, I should have known we were headed here, right? Because the moment you start telling the real truth about Black resistance, somebody always tries to rewrite the ending, but this time they picked the wrong one, all right? Let me make this real simple. Harriet Tubman was a real person. I think the problem is that a lot of them just can't fathom the idea that a disabled Black woman who couldn't read, lived with seizures, and was born into bondage, still outsmarted the system multiple times over. So instead of sitting with that, y'all default to, oh, well, she must be a myth. Because God forbid someone exists outside the mold that you've been spoon-fed. So let's run this back. She was born Araminta Ross in Maryland. Yeah, she was enslaved. She took a blow to the skull from her overseer that nearly killed her. And when she escaped in her 20s, she could have stayed gone. But she didn't. She went back again and again and walked more than 70 people to freedom. And no, she didn't float on vibes. She knew the signs, the land, the networks. She carried a gun. She told people, you'll be free or you'll be dead. Pick one. But wait, there's more. She worked with John Brown. She served as a Union spy and led the Coombe River Raid in 1863, freeing over 700 people in a single night. But sure, she's a myth. Because clearly a Black woman doing the impossible must mean it didn't happen, right? Y'all will believe in talking snakes, cherry trees, and founding fathers who somehow love liberty while owning people. But you draw the line at Harriet Tubman. Make it make sense. So here's the real issue. Harriet didn't just escape. She turned around and made herself the nightmare of the slave-holding South. She was strategic, ruthless, and brilliant. But apparently y'all aren't ready for that version. So no, I'm not going to debate her existence. But what I will do is say this. If Harriet Tubman feels too real to be real, that says more about your imagination than it ever will about her. She lived, she freed, she wrecked the entire system with her own bare hands. And that's what you're trying to erase.
So she apologized to Black people, obviously, because they called her out. It doesn't make sense that she would wake up one morning, record herself trying to erase Black history. This is absolutely insane. I'm going to show you her apology video, and of course, I'm going to show you some screenshots of comments. Stay with me, guys. Let's check this video out.
Hey y'all, so I had made a video 2 weeks ago that is going viral because I had said that I found out Harriet Tubman was not a real person. So I want to first say that as a grown woman, it's my responsibility to call myself out on the very same platform that I ran my mouth. And y'all's feelings are valid, your frustration, your anger, because honestly, as a Black American, I should have been more responsible with what the fuck I said, because I understand that when you are a black freedom fighter, it takes everything that you've got to even have the courage to stand the fuck. And as someone who too revolts against the same system that has enslaved black Americans, I deeply and honestly, really truly from the bottom of my heart, did not mean to disrespect any sort of black leaders of any kind. And I sincerely mean it. What I wanted to say is the version from textbooks that we were given in our classrooms and the same government that once enslaved black Americans, I have a right to question the education that they teach us. And I'm very weary and I'm very sensitive about what information I am learning. And my anger was inappropriately misdirected to the wrong person. My anger and frustrations were not on Harriet Tubman, and it should have been, or what I wanted to say is my frustration is towards the people who hold the pen and who leaves out truths, and it frustrates me. And honestly, like I said, I should have been more careful with my words, and I also should have been more clear and gone deeper with what I meant instead of just dropping it at. I had to come on here and say something and make it right, because I would feel really bad about leaving people off and not at least apologizing for what I said and the confusion that it had made. Okay. So to everyone who saw me run my mouth in the first clip, I really do apologize for my behavior, the way that I came across, okay? And this is something that I'm learning right now, is that, are you really thinking about what you're saying? And in the past, I had not. I just said shit without really thinking about it, and that's immature of me. I'm learning as I go. Take time to think about what you're saying. So I do want to apologize again for any confusion and disrespect that. So thank you for hearing me out, y'all.
Wow. Just wow. I took some screenshots of comments randomly so you guys can see what other people dropped in the comment sections. Please pause to read these comments if you want to. Seriously, I refuse to believe this, because I do not know what is happening. I do not know what triggered this. I do not know who is behind this, because you can clearly see from the comment section that Black history is going down the drain. Because I read some comments from some Black people literally believing that Harriet Tubman never existed. I don't know. I need someone to please educate me in the comment section. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Okay, I'm here to learn. I'm happy to learn. I'm happy to learn. Because this is scary, disappointing, and sad to see these videos trending on TikTok. How did Black people get here? I can't believe that something like this videos will be trending. I can't even believe that someone would sit down and record herself. Okay, someone was, I don't know what to say anymore, because anyways, you guys, I thought to react to this video. I thought to bring these videos here so you guys can see what is trending on TikTok, like what is happening in the Black community. The videos that is trending, you know, what they are saying, their reactions, their opinions. Let me know what you all think in the comment section, guys. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like this video, share, comment, and of course, come back for another one. I'm gonna see y'all in my next video. Y'all have a lovely day. Wow. Bye.